Yes.
Hi, my name is Andrew. You can call me Kyu Ho or Andrew, either way. And for my claim of facts of speech, I'll be talking about legalizing marijuana and its significant benefits over the nation. If I say the word marijuana out in public, some people might look at me in a strange way, like if I had committed a crime, or some other people might look at me and think, oh, this guy's 420 friendly, or he's probably down for a session. Just kidding. As you know or may not know, marijuana is the third most popular recreational drug in America, which is right behind alcohol and tobacco. According to the government surveys, some 25 million Americans have smoked marijuana in the past year, and there are more than 14 million do so regularly despite the harmful, harsh laws against its use. Our public policy should reflect this reality, not deny it. Marijuana is far less dangerous than alcohol or tobacco. Around 50,000 people die every year from alcohol poisoning, and there are even more from drinking driving. Similarly, more than 400,000 deaths each year are attributed to tobacco smoking, which includes lung cancer and heart attack. By comparison, marijuana is non-toxic and cannot cause any death by overdose. There is also evidence in the record providing that marijuana has been accepted as capable of relieving the distress of great amount of people who is suffering from an extreme condition. Currently, more than 60 United States and international health organizations support granting patients immediate legal access to medicinal marijuana under a physician's supervision. Legalizing marijuana would possibly affect the growth of the economy as well. Despite law enforcement's opposition to marijuana legalization, Colorado and Washington recently made the jump to full legalization. These states are likely to see an economic boom as a result of the legalization. In California, the medical marijuana industry has led to tax revenue and a local wealth. One marijuana dispensary in Oakland collected literally $1.2 million in sales tax last year just for the city. This proves that marijuana is very easy to grow for mass production, and a local marijuana dispensary will hire more employees, which will definitely increase the employment rate. And also the advertisements on marijuana would also increase the business growth, which would be very beneficial for the other states that is experiencing the financial problem that is actually the whole nation. Like I have mentioned before, marijuana is a very controversial subject to talk about. There are a great amount of people who are not well informed of marijuana, and people's misunderstanding could delay or maybe even stop from legalizing it. The United States government's own statistics show that over 75% of all Americans who use marijuana never use harder drugs. Alcohol should be considered a gateway drug actually, because most cocaine and heroin addicts begin their drug use with beer and wine, not marijuana. Marijuana is not physically addicting. Medical studies rank marijuana as less habit-forming than caffeine. The legal drugs of tobacco and alcohol can be addicting as addicting as heroin or cocaine, but marijuana is one of the least habit-forming substances known. I hope people should start consider marijuana as a recreational drug, not a gateway drug. Marijuana legalization would possibly affect the growth of the economy. It is less harmful than what you actually expect, and it could be the key factor of solving the financial problem or other problems of the United States. Thank you for listening.
All right, Andrew, the topic is stated, but your proposition is not directly indicated. I know kind of what you're saying. It sounds almost like a policy claim, but it's not distinctive, and I think it needs to be a lot sharper because you're just wandering around on the subject of marijuana. If you want to, you can make the claim that says legalization of marijuana would have substantial benefits. The benefits would include, one, the reduced expenditures that we make for law enforcement techniques, two, the economic advantage advantages that would result would be substantial. 3, that there would be medical benefits if people had access to marijuana. Something like that would be a lot clearer, and it seems to me like you don't really have much of a structure at the beginning of the speech. Now, at the end of the speech, you do help yourself a little bit because you do have a summary that gives a little bit more organizational structure and tries to sort of rescue what the content of the argument was there. The weaknesses that I see primarily are the evidence. You've got one piece of information that is specific to the economic benefits, and that is that an Oakland dispensary collected $1.2 million in taxes for the city. So that's a pretty good example to illustrate an economic benefit. But outside of that, you mentioned Colorado and Washington, but I got no data from Colorado and Washington. You claim there's going to be a growth in the economy, but I don't have any testimony that suggests that. You say whether it's going to increase the employment rate. I'm not quite sure how. People farming marijuana, don't we have plenty of marijuana farmers already? People selling marijuana. If you legalize it, wouldn't that put all those small businessmen out of business? Your local dealers. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to happen. I don't get an explanation on that, and that's what you need to have in the argument. There's a lot of the issue that seems to be directed toward attacking alcohol and tobacco as being illegitimate and marijuana as being more legitimate. There's a value argument to be based on that, but that doesn't really address the issue. Is marijuana safe for legal consumption? That's the argument that you want to work on. And then the argument that says that nobody dies from consuming marijuana, that there aren't harmful medical consequences to using marijuana, that we don't have any hard evidence to suggest that it's addictive, that would all apply to that particular category. So you're kind of dancing around some of these topics, but I think that you need to build a stronger argument that focuses on what the advantage would be if we were to legalize, and you need to structure it a lot more effectively. You had another a couple of minutes to finish also, so the speech is a little underdeveloped, and so I think there's clearly a place for you to find more information and put it into the presentation. All right, thank you.